Welcome to another edition of BCSN Sports Flash. Greg Frankie here with you, and it's kind of a Notre Dame Academy night. Earlier on this same evening, we spoke to Alicia Nahas, the outstanding tennis player, and now we've got two great volleyball players for Notre Dame, Angie and Speweik. As you can see, the identical twins from Notre Dame, and it was really interesting. I remember a few years ago, probably the first time I ever saw you play, we're getting set up for the broadcast, and I look over, and then here's these two identical-looking people giving this big smile, and I'm thinking, wow, they're going to have to keep an eye on these kids as they go through their careers. And then on top of that, both outstanding players. So you've been a pleasure to watch for 3 years and have another one at Notre Dame. How is it, Angie, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you're Allie, so I'm 3 for 4 tonight in telling you apart. Is it fun having a sister that looks just like you?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah? What do you like about it?
We can trick people.
Yeah. Tricking people and just knowing clothes that look good on her will look good on me, I guess.
Now, do you always see it that way? If you wear something that looks good on her, you think it looks good on you, or do you maybe still you think something looks good but you don't think it looks good, or do you have the same taste too on top of looking like each other?
I don't think we have the same taste. No.
So which ways are you most different that way?
Allie's is more girly, and I'm more like tomboyish, I guess.
Okay, well, so the one who is going to give the big tackle out there in the football game, that's probably you then, right? Okay, that's a good way to tell also. So what are some of the ways that you do try to do this? I know earlier in the year, one of you told me, I think it was you, that you always wear the same headband. So that's a way we can tell you apart. And then I get a text from Jennifer Bronikowski, and she said they're wearing different headbands than you told me they would wear. And I think you said that you can even trick your teammates sometimes when you do that. Is that right?
Yeah, some of the girls really just can't tell, but most of them can because we played with a lot of the girls for a while.
Mm-hmm. What about people in class that you see in the halls and your teachers that don't see you quite as often? Is it easier to fool them?
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially friends that we don't have a lot of classes with. They can only tell us apart by our glasses or our shoes or our purse. It's if one of us is wearing glasses and the other one, we switch it up and Allie wears her glasses and I wear my contacts, they have no idea at all. Yep.
and you tell them then eventually, right? So yeah, that's half the fun.
Yeah.
So what about volleyball now? You played a lot of sports growing up. Did you always play together? Did you ever play on opposite teams or separate teams, or have you always just sort of stuck together through all the years?
We just always stuck together. I don't know. We would never play apart ever.
Mm-hmm. And why did you decide to play volleyball as opposed to maybe some of the other sports you might have tried?
Well, it was between basketball and volleyball, and we knew that volleyball would be our #1 sport, and we didn't want to risk putting all the time and energy into volleyball only to get injured in basketball and just take us out.
Yeah. So what would have happened if one of you had liked one sport more than the other? Then would you have separated, or was that a big thing where you always wanted to stay together no matter what?
That was a pretty big thing. I don't think we'd ever want to play apart, so every sport we just made a decision together.
Yeah. One time during club, I was sick and Allie played, and we just realized how much, even just sitting out those few games, how much we missed playing with each other, and we just love, being with each other on the court together.
Yeah. I did a feature for our yearbook a couple of years ago when you were a freshman, I think, and talked to you. You were one of the many sets of twins that wrote about. And I think that all of them basically said that it's nice in a situation because when you go out for a team or you go to a new school, you've always got somebody there who's real close to you. Does it make it easier to get into new situations like that when you have each other to sort of lean on?
Yeah, definitely. She's my go-to person and definitely my safety blanket. I'm never uncomfortable without her or with her. She always good to have her.
It's nice knowing that someone's going through the same exact thing as you and can relate.
So when you first came to Notre Dame as freshmen, was it a little nerve-wracking because you're first year in a big program like that, and it was a little easier because you had each other?
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was definitely different because we'd come from a public school and we didn't know anyone, but having Angie made it a lot easier because I always had a friend.
Yeah. And that's going to continue. Both of you are outstanding players, and you both want to play in college, and you've kind of made it clear that it's a package deal with you guys. Is that right?
Yep, exactly.
So if some school came along and said, I really want you, and another school came and said, I really want you, you wouldn't even consider that?
No.
Nope, not even a little bit.
Package deal.
Well, I don't think that many of the schools are going to have a problem with that because obviously both of you will be a real asset to whichever school that you go to. Now, I talked to you about volleyball. Obviously, Notre Dame's had a lot of success, but you've always had St. Ursula to contend with, although they changed the brackets up, so you got to regionals this year, so that was a good thing. But you told me as freshmen that you thought sometime in that 4 years that you'd be able to break through and take the track and get to states. So you got one more year to try it. Do you think next year might be the year where you fulfill that?
Yeah, I mean, we have a really good team, and we all just have a lot of heart, which is a big thing we emphasized on this year. And we all just, I think we can go really far with each other.
Yep, if we play as a team, I think we can do it for sure.
And you've got a couple of players graduating, but you've got really the core of your team all coming back. Is that really going to be helpful because you're already on the same page with so many of the players that you can kind of start from a higher level at the beginning of the season?
For sure. Since we know how to work with each other, it'll be a lot easier, and having a lot of people come together, come back, it'll be good.
Yeah. Yep. So I hear that beach volleyball is becoming a craze, and you see it's an Olympic sport now, and now the colleges are starting to pick it up, and scholarship athletes in that sport. And I hear you guys both enjoy playing beach volleyball too. Is that something you've thought about perhaps pursuing?
Yeah, definitely. We love court volleyball, but beach volleyball would be fun to do together. Definitely test our strengths and our weaknesses. So
what are the differences? What do you like about indoor volleyball versus what do you like about beach volleyball?
Well, beach volleyball is just me and Allie, which is a lot of fun because we push each other to be better. But indoors, I feel like a lot more competitive, and it's like a lot more to it than just having two people on the court. There's 6, and each person plays a huge role. And like with 2, it's just counting on each other instead of a whole team. It
seems to me in beach volleyball you really have to master all of the different skills. Whereas you're not just maybe a defensive player or just a setter. You have to do all of those things if you're going to be successful in beach volleyball.
Yeah, it's a hard sport because you do have to master all those things, which makes court volleyball a lot easier because then you just have to master your one position. But they both have really good qualities about the sport.
So I can imagine if you guys go on and play in beach volleyball and you started having success and these identical twins and this with the $1 million smile, I mean you're gonna have fans from coast to coast. I just know that. So who knows? I'll look forward to maybe seeing that take place someday. Wherever you go, it's going to be outstanding for whichever program you get involved with. What about academics wise? What kind of interest? You have the same interest that way, or is that one area where maybe you do have differences?
Yep, we have differences in that one.
Differences, yeah. We are pretty much the same in everything except for that I think I'm more on the business end and Angie's more on like the creative end.
And like English, yeah.
So you can start a business, create some kind of creative business, and you can do that, and you can make sure that the figures add up. And who knows, you can have a partnership all through your life. That'd be really a great thing. Well, it's been a lot of fun watching you guys for 3 years, and I'm sure it's going to be fun next year. And fun chatting with you here again tonight. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
The identical twins, Allie and Angie Speweik. Don't ask me. Now, you at home can try to decide for yourself which one, and then maybe you can check out and see whether you got it right. But joining us here on tonight's edition of BCSN Sports Flash, Greg Franke saying so long.